What's going on, guys? My name is Nick, and today I'm going to be showing you how to use your Tominator 7-way trailer light tester. Although your Tominator 7-way tester looks very similar to others, it is very different. One, you're going to have your externally mounted battery, and there are different options for different battery platforms. The knob is going to look very similar with one additional feature, which we will touch on, and you're going to also notice the digital readout here, which is going to show you your voltage, current, wattage. It's going to give you information about the things that you're testing. There's also going to be a USB port right here that is going to show you your current voltage at the USB port, as well as give you some charging capabilities, and again, we'll touch on that here in a few. Another thing that you're going to notice inside the package is going to be this yellow dongle here. This is your M5 signal booster. This is what is going to ensure that the connectivity between the app and your device are going to be 100% at all times, even if you're working on longer fifth wheel RVs. Again, there are some key differences from how this works compared to a typical 7-way tester, so I'm going to walk you through step by step on how to use your Tominator. So first things first, I definitely recommend having your device on the floor. You don't want to set it up on any of your propane tanks or anything for risk of this falling off. The very first step is you're going to take a fully charged battery and insert it into the battery holder on the side, and the unit will automatically power up. Once the unit is powered, you're going to take the 7-way cable from your RV, lift the protective cover on the side of your Tominator, and you're going to plug the 7-way into the Tominator, making sure that it is completely plugged in and has a good connection. Now that the unit is powered on and the 7-way is plugged into it, just want to make a quick note that you will see a very small current on the system, even though there's no lights on and nothing is happening, and that is simply because of the powered USB port. Unfortunately, there's not really a way to eliminate that, so that very small amp draw you see at idle, you can ignore that. Now that the Tominator is plugged in and powered, we can actually start turning this knob here and activating different lights on the back of the coach. So you can see we have left turn, we have right turn, we can go over to brake lights, tail lights, and reverse lights if they are equipped on the trailer. Now, that's how your typical 7-way tester would work. You can turn the knob and go through everything. You can do it manual like that, but the Tominator has some additional features, so we'll go over that now. The main feature we're talking about here is wireless connectivity. So you're able to control your Tominator from your phone through the Tominator app and actively activate all of these different lights, and you can record that process, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. Looking back at this control knob, you will see one other option here that's not lights. It says local control off. Tominator will only work with the app. We're going to select that function right there. Now that your Tominator is set to the desired mode to wirelessly communicate with the app, you're going to be using the M5 signal booster. The M5 signal booster requires no programming, no connection, anything like that. All you have to do is press the small button on the side and hold it for about 5 seconds, and you will see your M5 power up, and that is all you have to do. Now, as far as this goes, you're going to want to keep this close to you. You can keep it in your pocket. There is going to be an included wrist strap that you can use to connect this to your wrist so that you don't forget it. The main goal is to not forget this device because it is crucial to the operation of the wireless function on the Tominator. So now I have my Tominator plugged into my 7-way of the trailer. I have it set to local controls off so that I can operate from the app. My M5 signal booster is powered on, and I'm going to go ahead and stick that right in my pocket there so I don't lose it. Now, before we proceed, if you haven't done so already, you are going to need the Tominator app on your mobile device, which you can find in both Google Play as well as the Apple App Store. So once you download the Tominator app, you're going to have some initial setup you're going to need to go through. When you first download the app, please make sure that you're accepting permissions for using the camera, microphone, Bluetooth, and making new connections, because those are going to be vital to this device working properly with the app. Now, I have the app opened up on my phone here, and I'm going to actually pop up a small screen recording of what the app's going to look like on the side here to make this a little easier for you guys to see and understand. Now, when you initially open the app, you're going to need to connect it to your Tominator for the first time. So at the top right, you're going to see device scan, and right away we can see our Tominator there, and I hit connect, and that's all there is to it. So now I'm connected to my Tominator and we're ready to do a light check. Now we're going to go to the back of the unit because there's the most lights that can be seen back there, and I'll cover the process of how you need to use this app. Now that we're connected and we're at the rear of the coach where we can see the most lights, let's look through some of the functions and see what we're capable of doing here. I'm going to go ahead and bring up a small version of the screen recording of the app here so you can see what's going on. So within the app here, you're going to see all your controls at the bottom, and let's say I pressed right blinker, the right blinker is going to come on. If I were to turn on the brake lights, we can activate both of the brake lights. We can do the tail and running lights. We can do whatever it is we need to do as far as light and brake activation wirelessly, which saves you time from walking back and forth to the front of the trailer to switch functions. But you have one more very important feature built into this app, which is going to be the screen recording. The screen recording is going to allow you to document this entire test, whether it be for warranty purposes, any kind of insurance, or different claims, whatever it be. You have documentation that the light test was performed, and you have the result of the light test within there. So I'm going to face the trailer so we can record this, and again I'm going to go ahead and put up a screen recording of what I have going on in the app. Now once we get back here, we're looking at the coach. You can see that I have a view of the trailer on my app, and you're going to notice a box down here that says enter trailer details. Now for this one I'm just going to put Nobo, but you can put your VIN number, stock number, or whatever it is that you need to have in this box so that you can document it and keep track of it. Now, once we have the information and we're looking at the coach, at the bottom left of the screen you're going to see a green triangle. You're going to press that green triangle, and once that green triangle is pressed, you're going to be recording the test. So now we can do left blinker, right blinker, brake lights, and our tail and running lights. When we're done with the test, you can press the red stop button at the bottom right of your screen, and that will stop the recording. While doing this test, there is another thing to note, and that's going to be the digital readout that you have on your Tominator. That digital readout is going to give you an amp draw while your lights are running and your brakes are running. Now that can be helpful in determining issues. You can determine dead shorts, you can see if a system is working properly. It can give you a little bit of insight on what's going on with the lighting or braking system. Which brings me to my next feature, which is testing brakes. That's where that screen is going to come in handy. Now typically on a trailer or RV inspection, when testing the brakes, we're either going to activate the brakes through the 7-way or through the breakaway and use an amp clamp to determine how many amps are being drawn, and that's going to help you determine if the brakes are working properly or not. Now, special note to have here, when doing a brake test with the Tominator, the voltage is going to be a little bit different than your typical test. A lot of times you're testing the trailer on its own power with a jump wire or the breakaway, and you're going to have a little bit of voltage sag coming from the battery, which is already resting at about 12.5 volts. So your target number is usually between 3 and 4 amps per hub to determine good working brakes. In other words, on a single axle, you'd be looking anywhere between 6 and 8 amps telling you, hey, this is a good axle. And then you may have a double axle, which is, again, going to double that. You're looking for around 3 to 4 amps per brake magnet. Now, because you don't have that voltage drop, that amperage is going to go up a little bit. So let's run a brake test with the Tominator. I'm going to walk you through that, and let's discuss those differences in a good test. Now, an initial startup, again, you're going to have that very small current draw, and that is from the USB port, so we can ignore that. But you're going to have your electric brake function here, and you're going to switch over to that. Now, this is a single axle trailer, and we can see once those magnets engage, running about 9.5 amps, 9.2. After 10 seconds, that's going to automatically shut off. You'll actually see that notice right here. That is to protect the device from overcurrent. It's only going to allow you to do that test for about 10 seconds, and then it's going to automatically stop applying voltage. But as you can see, again, when switching over to it, we are looking at a slightly higher amp draw than we would typically see on a brake test, so keep that in mind when running your numbers. You can also run this brake test through the app, just like you did for the lights. You see that option down there for testing the trailer brakes. Same thing, they will only be active for 10 seconds, but this could be especially beneficial if you're actually trying to diagnose the brakes. If you were back there trying to get some numbers, you can actually use your remote function, activate the brakes, check for voltage at a hub, and then you can shut it back off or allow the 10-second timeout to control it. So not only is it going to be a test device for brakes, it can be used in some diagnostic situations, or at least making diagnostics a little bit easier for you. And now that we're done with our test, we're going to take our M5 range extender. We're going to power it off the same way we powered it on. You're going to press the small button on the side for about 5 seconds. Make sure that stays with your Tominator because, again, this is a very vital part of the communication. On the note of keeping your M5 charged, that USB port we talked about in the top earlier is perfect for keeping your M5 charged. You can also charge your mobile device from it as well, but this is going to ensure that this always stays charged. Keep this with your Tominator. Keep your Tominator closed and sealed. If you have any questions about your Tominator or any other devices that you own or wish to own from SkillAbove, feel free to reach out to us. We'd be happy to answer any questions.